All day there was talk of a ceasefire, but it never materialized. This is Gaza. Israeli drone and missile attacks are continuing there tonight, and rockets have been fired from Gaza, too. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. Nothing in the Middle East is ever straightforward, so here's what we know at this point. The ceasefire brokered by Egypt seemed imminent, but as the hour approached when it was supposed to be announced, there was nothing. Hamas says Israel hasn't responded to proposals. Israel says it remains a willing partner, but wants long-term peace. A few hours ago, U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton arrived to do what she can to prod both sides into a compromise. Our Sean Mallon is in Jerusalem tonight. Sean?
Good evening, Donna. Well, the latest we're hearing is that if there is to be a ceasefire, it won't be announced until at least tomorrow. And so hostilities continue. Even as the buzz grew over an impending truce, the siren sounded in Jerusalem. People took cover, and although the missile fell into an open area short of the city, it was still unsettling.
We had to go on the floor, put our hands on our heads. It was very, very scary.
Elsewhere in the south of Israel, dozens of rockets fell, some causing damage with several injuries. Meanwhile, Israelis kept up the pressure on Hamas with continuing raids on Gaza overnight and through the day. The Islamic National Bank building was hit. The number of deaths continues to rise with constant funerals. Palestinians claim that among the dead today were two cameramen working for the Hamas-owned Al-Aqsa TV and an employee of Al-Quds radio. Israel says they had ties to the militants. In Gaza City, a disturbing picture emerged. Militants apparently staging a public execution of 6 men they accused of collaborating with Israel. All unfolding as U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton arrived in Jerusalem to support Israel's right of self-defense and to call for de-escalation.
The rocket attacks from terrorist organizations inside Gaza on Israeli cities and towns must end. The goal must be a durable outcome that promotes regional stability and advances the security and legitimate aspirations of Israelis and Palestinians alike.
Now, if there's a possibility of achieving a long-term solution to this problem through diplomatic means, we prefer that. But if not, I'm sure you understand that Israel will have to take whatever action is necessary to defend its people.
Israel is fighting for places like Ashkelon, a frequent target of Hamas rockets.
A little bit hard. We're used to it.
Just out back of the municipal offices, there's an underground bunker and command center where the mayor and local officials have had to regularly scramble when the warnings sound. Benny Vaknin says any truce has to be real because after the last one in 2008, his city still came under fire.
In the last 4 years, more than 200 missiles fall in Ashkelon. Well, of course, if they don't stop, this is not a ceasefire.
With Ashkelon's economy also being pounded, Israel's tourism minister paid a visit today, saying that despite all the troubles, he's confident they can convince visitors to come back. But first, the exchanges of rockets and bombs must stop. It's the history of this region that quite often the most intense violence happens just before a ceasefire. And Donna, that appears to be what's happening right now.
Sean, Israelis have been through this so many times before. If there is a ceasefire eventually, perhaps tomorrow, do people expect it will hold or that it will lead to real peace?
Well, it's certainly what they want. That's certainly what Prime Minister Netanyahu said, as you heard in that clip. But I must say there's much skepticism about a lasting peace because, after all, the big issues are still out there. Hamas does not recognize Israel's right to exist, and Israel is not exactly ready to share Jerusalem as a capital with the Palestinians. In fact, right now, there is an ongoing uprising on the West Bank right now, clashes between Palestinians over there almost every day with police. So these troubles are long-lasting, but perhaps at least they can stop this fighting.
All right, Sean Mallon in Jerusalem, thanks.